she told me to call her Miss Fernandez. She had no fear in being herself, and I soon realized that we had more in common than I thought. She called me her sweet angel, and we shared thoughts and stories too secret for others. We became friends. It was my first social justice class, and I was proud that a strong Chicana woman would be teaching me what was right in the world. Unit 1, race. White, black, yellow, brown, red, labels created to divide people easier. We were learning not to use these anymore. That it was right to call people African American, or Latino, or Asian, or Polynesian, or Filipino, or Arab, but you could still call white people white. I wondered why we couldn't be Irish, or Scottish, or even European. Why couldn't people see past our skin color and into our histories? But I didn't let it interfere with my learning of others. I just wanted to change the world. Unit 2, class. Rich or poor, and she told us that was it. That the poor working class communities only consisted of people of colors, and that the homes in the hills were filled with white people. And when I raised my hand to ask about the poor working class white folks, she told me that the po white trash population didn't exist anymore. I wanted to ask her why I'm working 2 jobs, saving for college because my parents can barely pay the bills, and why I don't live in the hills, and why my people were trash, not working class. If only I knew then what I knew now. But I didn't let it interfere with my learning of others. I just wanted to change the world. Unit 3, oppression. We learned that oppression was the exercise of authority or power in a cruel or unjust manner. After teaching us the meaning, Ms. Fernandez asked us to raise our hands if we felt like we had ever been oppressed, and I raised my hand. The only white student in the class, and all eyes turned my direction, she called me out and asked me to explain the time where I felt as though I was oppressed. I told her a story about my uncle, treating me differently and questioning my intelligence because I wanted to major in ethnic studies. She laughed. I unknowingly laughed along until I realized she was making fun of me. In front of me, my soon-to-be role model was laughing at my truth. She then proceeded to tell me that white people have never seen oppression, that we've always had the upper hand in every single aspect of life. We always will. She finished her speech declaring that I should feel white guilt for all the pain that my people have caused and will cause. I sat in silence, not really knowing what to say. I got up and I left. Yes, it is more than true that white privilege exists in our country and has always been covered in white supremacy, but I have never hurt anyone. In fact, my Irish ancestors weren't considered white when we immigrated to America. They called us animals, turned us into their personal servants. We too meant nothing. And each day today, I don't live to follow the footsteps of the rich men in my government. I live to serve the people who struggle. I returned to class the following day, ready for battle, ready to stand my ground and prove that not all white people are the same. Not all of us are oppressors. After I told Ms. Fernandez everything I thought, she smiled and said, "Okay, sweet angel, whatever you say." There were no more units for her to teach, no more for me to learn from her. Realization is the first step in altering the minds of others, and I felt accomplished. At the end of my senior year, I remember my experience and thank Ms. Fernandez every time I see her for the impact she made on my life. She changed me, but I don't let it interfere with my learning of others. I still only want to change the world.